Hello, my name is Ben, and I have a small indie game company called Persephone's Chair. As you may imagine, I like to make computer games. I like making them more than I like playing them, in fact. I suppose I'm what you'd call a creative type. Not to give you a long and tedious life story, but I came relatively late to the world of computer programming. Early in 2018, I started modding a game called Keep Talking and Nobody Explodes, and I got the itch for writing code, specifically writing code in the Unity game engine. Not too long after that, I began my first proper game, an indie puzzler game called The Jigsaw House. After about a year, the game was completed and released on itch.io. I felt a great sense of achievement from this and resolved to make more games. This is where the problems began. I've since released 2 other games, ATMOS Holodeck Training and Isolation. However, the path to video game release and completion is strewn with half-finished projects clogging up my already limited hard drive space. I can't bring myself to delete them because there's this nagging voice at the back of my brain that says, you might go back and finish them one day. And whilst I might do that, the reality is I probably won't. Which makes me sad. Partially because I think there are some good ideas amongst them, but also because I look at the time invested in them and I think, if I don't complete that, that's time I'm not getting back, which is a waste. The problem is motivation. I start a project, get very excited about it, work on it solidly, and think about practically nothing else for anything from 2 weeks to 3 months. And then I run out of steam. The project stalls, it feels like nothing is moving forward, and I lose the desire to continue working on it. Even my released games have suffered from this condition, with all of them going into hiatus for at least 3 months before I finally managed to get back to completing them. And then Yahtzee Croshaw began his Dev Diary series. Now, I've watched Zero Punctuation since pretty much the first episode, and I've always loved his style, his humour, and his critical analysis. His Dev Diary series, however, moved beyond mere enjoyment and into the territory of inspiration, with every single one of the videos in the series saying at least one thing that I felt spoke to me personally about my experiences developing games. His pledge for this series, in an effort to combat project stagnation, was to develop 12 games in 12 months. That's it. Blitz through a number of mini projects, create a playable and hopefully enjoyable game, and then move on. With this series now drawing to a close, another thing that makes me sad, I decided to be proactive and emulate the experience myself. I've got a big project on the go at the moment which is currently succumbing to the stagnation problem I mentioned earlier, and I can't bring myself to do anything with it. So this seems like a good opportunity to improve my coding skills, have some fun making a slew of new games, and actually complete some projects. The games will be released on itch.io for free, and the goal is simple: create and release 12 games within 12 months. For posterity's sake, this project started on the 22nd of February 2020, just before Leap Year Day, so I've technically got an extra day on what Yahtzee had. I'm not allowed to use any started projects from my stagnant bank, though if the inspiration arises, I am allowed to go back and revisit some of those ideas. I will release a video upon completing each game in the hope that people get a bit of a kick out of playing them and also witnessing my journey. So that's the plan. 12 games in 12 months. I hope you're able to join me on this journey. I'm sure it'll be a bumpy ride, but I dare say we'll all learn something from the experience. Can't think what that might be just now, but we'll get to that.